Once upon a time, there were three close friends who had done everything together and dreamed of one day being entrepreneurs. All three dreamt of having their own coffee and pastry shops, and as they lived in a big city, this meant they would not be opposition for each other. There was already a coffee shop that belonged to a Mr. Wolf. His shop was part of a big franchise, and they would not even compete, or so he thought. The first friend, Peppa, made a massive loan at high interest rates. She bought property in the bustling city center. This was the ideal place. She spared no expense while setting up her shop. The second friend, George, did some research first to secure a smaller loan at more affordable rates. He also bought property on the outskirts of the city and could buy a few things to set up his shop to the best of his ability. Our third friend, Susie, saved every penny she could from age 13. Now at 25, she had a bit of savings and enough for small properties, so she opted to buy a small building in the city center, far away from her friends. She also had enough savings to set her business up smartly and invest in a few extra things that would make her money. Mr. Wolf watched from afar how the friends built their shops. His business was already established and would consider sabotaging their new businesses if it interfered with his income. As the three friends opened their businesses, they all did exceedingly well and took a huge chunk away from Mr. Wolf's business. The three friends worked very hard to keep their customers delighted with a touch of a homely atmosphere. Mr. Wolf did not like this at all. He was losing sales and customers, and to those three, so he devised a cunning plan. He would spread false rumors about the quality of their products and the cleanliness of their shops. He would also cut his prices in half. The first friend, Peppa, had big overheads, and her frail business would collapse at the very smallest unforeseen incident. It comes as no surprise then that the false rumor of her keeping a bunch of rats in the kitchen sunk her business. Mr. Wolf also paid an actor to pretend the sandwiches he bought from the shop was infested with rat droppings. Her business quickly tanked, and she was forced to sell her expensive equipment and property at almost half the price. Luckily, her friend, George, offered her work at his coffee shop. Mr. Wolf saw this, but was not happy. The remaining two rivals had a huge impact on his shop, so he devised a new plan. He would bribe them both to sell their shops to him, so he could continue his monopoly once again. He arranged a meeting with them and offered to buy their business for far less than what George and Susie had paid. Mr. Wolf left angrily as they both declined his offer. All right, if it is a war they want, it's a war they'll get. He devised a new plan. He would sabotage their supplies and equipment. So he sent in fake customers to tamper with outlet plugs, tables, chairs, anything that could disrupt operations. A fire broke out in the early hours of one morning, and George's whole business burned down. Nothing could be saved, but he was well insured and was paid out enough to cover his debts and cover his friend Peppa's. Meanwhile, Susie's business was booming, and she welcomed the two extra pair hands with open arms. She could expand her business to offer customers a wide variety of fast foods with delivery to far reaches in the city. She concentrated on selling quality and not quantity, and all Mr. Wolf's attempts to derail her business was futile, for she had a team, and they offered more than just coffee and sandwiches. They offered customers convenience and excellent service. The business grew. Soon, they divided the business in 3 equal parts, each holding an equal share. Mr. Wolf's business crumbled, and he turned to illegal activity to keep his business afloat, and was later arrested for tax evasion and drug operations. He is currently serving a 22-year sentence. Our 3 friends each married, and there are rumors of Susie expecting her second child.